How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Spooky. It smells real spooky in here, guys.
I think Andy finally shit.
His Halloween costume is a person who shit their pants.
He was talking
That
about
he's going-
how much he wanted to poop.
It's Halloween for Andy all the
I
time.
dress up all the time.
Welcome, listeners, to episode Sunday, Stephen King Day.
Bloody Sunday.
Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
You guys called this month Return of the King.
Who came up with that? I didn't.
Andy.
That was a good.
Yeah.
That was clever.
I'm the new program director.
Well, it also helped for the T-shirts because I didn't have room to write Stephen King month.
Yeah.
On the back. But it is Stephen King time.
It really is. Like, it's over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a moment.
Yeah.
But because I want to get more into this, and I think we've mentioned in the past, millennials are not feeling Stephen King books. They're not feeling him.
That, I mean, you know what? Then deny yourself good things.
They got probs, but that's okay. We'll get into it.
All right.
But I love Stephen King. Most people love Stephen King in this
But
room. How does everyone feel about Stephen King?
I
Well,
love Stephen
real quick,
King.
can we just stop blaming millennials for everything? It just seems very... Millennials are the new basic.
Okay, let me go
and
back.
it's just kind of played out.
They kind of suck.
Let me
So,
back it up.
Millennials, I support you.
Let me back it up. Let me change the word
All right, old man.
millennials to young idiots.
Okay.
Is that better? They may not be a millennial.
It's a generation that is not feeling Stephen
Is this
King.
public knowledge right now that millennials allegedly don't like?
Well, it keeps coming up. I have a lot of these idiots. Well, not anymore. I unfriended a hell of a lot of people recently, but I had a bunch of people who just on my Facebook who were constantly complaining. They think he's creepy.
That's not data.
They think he does.
Not data.
That's true. That's not data.
It's not data.
Stupid has no age.
Yeah.
Truth.
That's true.
But these are all young people.
Well,
sorry, young people.
They think they've figured something out. They're like, oh, Stephen King is gross.
I think it's just a thing where like people didn't read him for a while, and then like now that all of these adaptations are coming out, people started picking it up again, and like he writes from his time period, and I'm not saying there aren't idiosyncrasies in his writing, but like I feel like it's a kind of experience that younger people.
He's getting Lovecrafted.
Well,
he is getting Lovecrafted.
Every decade or so, or even shorter period of time, what's acceptable changes. We're all like developing. There are words that everybody in this room has used that today we now say and go, ooh.
Except
we
in
don't
private.
use.
Hey, I say what I want.
Well, I'm just saying we're.
But yes, I hear exactly what you're saying.
So for someone like Stephen King, who's written over so many different decades, of course, some of the things he's going to write about are what was acceptable in the '80s. Is I'm not saying that it's right, but it's different. I mean, it's why you go back and that's been around forever since the Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry and stuff that was used to be considered funny is now offensive. So
we're not throwing away Stephen King though, and I will murder.
But his writing isn't dated, is it? Is just the language or
some of the language, and I think I think
is it the it thing?
That's part of it, which we'll also get into that, but. I think it is part. I think you hit on it very well. Although Stephen King was never sexist or racist. Like I think people have a hard time because they see that he when he's trying to write from a certain perspective. I think people expect it to be this woke way of. I think everyone expects everyone to be woke, and no one was woke. between the 70s and 80s.
I mean,
and 90s.
Grandpa Stevie's pretty woke on Twitter.
Yeah, I think he's
Now-
more,
yeah,
woke
he's-
more than
Well,
anybody.
I don't necessarily know that I agree with that. I think it's changing. Again, it's what's acceptable. And in the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of things people were waking up about then too. I mean,
Yeah.
this idea of woke is nothing new.
No.
Yeah.
In the 70s and 80s, we were getting woke about like women should be able to do things
Yeah.
and be able to contribute to society, and black people should be able to do things and it's always been about these things.
And it's funny is that was always there in his writing, but I feel like people just see this like kind of surface thing the way he, again, like Andy mentioned, like the slang that he uses when he's writing, ethnic characters, like it comes across to people.
Mr. Mercedes.
Well, it's almost like Mark Twain.
Yeah.
He writes it phonetically, and some people it seems like maybe he's poking fun.
Yeah. But he's not.
He's just trying to capture what he's hearing, I think.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but so I just feel like young people aren't maybe getting it.
People are. I remember when I was a kid, like it was a really big deal. I think it was General Hospital or something. And this was on the news that there was going to be the first like black woman and white male kiss on television, and that was a big deal. And now today we're looking at
Denzel?
Modern Family, and we're looking at like the first, gay couple. I mean, these things like 10 years from now are going to be like, why was that even a thing?
Well, and then these young idiots, you're right, maybe it's not just the entire generation, just the young idiot part.
Mm-hmm.
They want to rebel against the thing, and they want to discover. They want to discover a thing.
Yeah.
So they're going to trash the thing that we have. And
Our sacred
eventually,
things.
and eventually they'll understand.
Mm-hmm.
when their sacred things
They
are
are
trash.
they are in no
We did
way,
the
shape, or
same
form
stuff.
fully formed human beings yet.
Right.
I am not either.
We did all this to all the 50s stuff.
And I love 50s stuff.
But we also
Not
were
the
like...
bad stuff. I don't like the bad. I don't want to go back to the 50s, I promise.
The good old days, Amy.
We're all of the same age group. This is just the natural cycles of
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
And this happens. It's like the day that you listen to
natural
an oldies station, and you're like, holy crap, Nirvana is on the oldies station. What the heck?
Yeah, speak for yourself, because I got carded at the movies the other day.
He did. Andy got
Fucking
carded
asshole.
to see an R-rated
Andy
film.
is 10 days older than me.
Andy looks like a young idiot.
One day people
Andy?
woke up about that.
Is 10 days
So all these
older than me.
He could pass for a Stephen King hater.
all
I
these
am
old
not his mom.
fogies talking about this all this crap.
They smell the rotten stuff coming out of you right now. They know how old you were.
Hey
The
man.
thing everybody has to recognize, and it's a thing that I had to learn. I don't know anything. But when you're of a certain age, when you're a young idiot, you think you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't figured shit out. Wait till you're my age, and you're getting a physical so you can see how your cholesterol is.
Hold a finger up your butt.
Yeah,
All my numbers are good.
good.
That's good.
I make a payment on a gravesite every month.
Mm-hmm. We do. We have a plot we're sharing.
I went to a colorectal specialist.
Yeah.
What do you do that's old?
I'm thinking. There's a lot of old stuff I do. I have to think.
Mike does a lot more of the opposite, though.
Andy's watching Golden Girls.
Yeah, I try
young
to.
stuff.
But I drink Mountain Dew.
I do a
while,
lot of young stuff.
I drink Mountain Dew while watching Golden Girls. So I'm still young.
I probably my old stuff that I do has a lot to trying to do to finding my inner child, and that's actually a pretty old thing to do. So
Wow.
think about that mind twist right there.
Hey,
huh?
young idiots.
You just fucking Chris Nolan
that
this
shit?
Yep,
shit.
got to nurture your youngster. And shit.
You got to feed him granola bars.
You got to sit that youngster on your lap and tell it to keep looking at the eclipse.
Oh,
I did not want to watch this for that very reason.
Yeah, I know. All right, introduce us.
All right, so this table of youngish
Young at heart.
non-idiots.
Is that the dog's
No, I'm
tail?
an idiot. That's the thing. Like, I know I'm
You're
an
not
idiot.
an idiot.
All right, but I am.
Listen, some people have the knowledge of who is and who isn't idiots.
You know who's an idiot? Elsa.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that is a keeper of the knowledge.
You know?
I do.
You're one of them?
I can tell.
But I want to embrace my idiotness.
Well, you
I
can't.
own
You're
it.
not an idiot.
Hey, I'm a dumb as fuck.
There's beauty in letting go of trying to know everything.
there's
Yeah.
a there's a
and
whole
I don't want to pretend I'm smarter than anybody
I
else
want to
either.
trust the experts.
There's a whole philosophy of the idea of like true wisdom means having a beginner's mind, right? It's like looking at everything with fresh eyes because you bring your own stories to everything that you have. The older you get, the more story there is to it. But if you can look at things with a beginner's mind, like a fresh new perspective, that's real wisdom right there.
Thanks,
that wise
Doc.
sage.
No problem, guys.
That wise sage is Mikey B.
Hi, I'm Mikey B.
I want to sage this room.
You want to say? Oh, Sage, can you see?
I could.
I don't have any deodorant on either.
I only put deodorant on.
Ooh, it's not great.
So I'm a step ahead of you.
He's not wearing a stitch.
But I'm nude as fuck.
It's called AF now. You don't say as fuck.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, get woke.
The guy who's woke, that's Freddy.
I'm barely woke.
He's woke AF.
His bowels are woke.
Hey, look, a dog just came out of the curtains.
It was like the house gave birth to a dog.
Yeah. Hi, baby.
That lady who thought what I just said was hilarious. That's Amy.
At least something in this house is giving birth, because I'm not. I don't want no fucking kids. I'm woke, and kids are scary.
Kids are scary. Yeah, this is true.
They're the most terrifying creatures. They're not. They're pretty bland.
I don't want to birth
Ooh,
no
I
young
don't know
idiot.
about that. They're pretty scary sometimes.
And the guy, what are you fondling over there? What is that? A sock?
Oh,
Is that a coaster?
It's a coaster.
Oh,
How did you not know the difference between a sock and a coaster?
It just looked like a black thing in his hand. Like I didn't.
You know how
He had a black thing in his hand.
his old man eyes are.
So you see a black thing and you immediately go to sock.
It
He's
just
also
was-
been playing with a phallic platypus.
It was
so
floppy.
You can see where you could make some
When
assumptions.
IA questions you about why you shot Andy, you're gonna be like, well, I thought he had a sock.
I thought he had a sock in his hand. It didn't look like a coaster.
Mm.
And
It
they're
was
gonna-
only a coaster.
Which one's the deadly weapon?
Clearly the sock.
That's Andy with the floppy coaster sock.
That's my guitar riff because I'm the young one.
He is the baby.
Ooh. And I'm Kelley.
You are Kelley. One day you're gonna be involved in a shooting, and it's going to turn out that the guy was unarmed.
Did you just Professor Trelawney me?
You know what? Here's the deal. We were out late. I'm tired. You're tired.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so adorable, Kelley.
What?
That you quoted, like you
Oh.
said, a Harry Potter reference.
Wow.
Professor
Thanks.
Trelawney, in what manner?
Well, it sounded like you were telling my future.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that was Emma
right.
Thompson, right?
Yeah.
She had the big old Coke bottle glasses, goofy looking.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
remember her.
Yeah, thank you. Freddie remembers.
I remember.
That's our last grasp of trying to relating to young kids, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Mm.
Except now we're still relating to like people in their 30s.
It's
You
so
got to get the
true,
new
though.
fresh.
I'm
new fresh
40,
stuff.
almost 41.
I'm 40.
Anyway, the
Fresh
guy who's almost
funny.
41, that's Kelley.
Oh,
And it's 2 days to Halloween.
Mm.
It's almost Halloween.
Come to see our show tomorrow.
Yes, October 30th. It's Monday.
And I'm not
7:30.
even going to say if you're in town. If you're not in town, come to town.
Get your ass to Cincinnati.
Go to town.
The Overlook Lodge.
Go to town, give us the business.
Come have a cocktail with us and listen to us talk about the origins of Halloween and our own personal stories.
Mm.
Mhm.
We're going to maybe kind of half-ass dress up. I don't know.
I'm not a costume person. I have an eye patch, pirate eye patch in my car.
Are you
I
gonna
wear
be
that.
so you could be a half-ass. I said half-ass.
Yeah.
Be like a pirate that
Andy's
came from
supposed to
work.
loan me some horns.
Are you going to dress up?
I have a plan, but it's not going to be elaborate.
You know, Andy.
I think Elise is going to witch it up.
Witchy
Oh,
woman.
What are you going to... Are you stripping?
Yeah.
What are you going to wear?
He's gonna be a
He
stripper.
looks like a fireman.
Yeah, I am a
Like a
fireman.
sexy
Could be a fireman.
He's a sexy fire.
I'm gonna wear horns because I'm horny.
You should be a fireman because you have a nice axe.
Oh! Hey, real quick, speaking of horns...
No.
That was a good one, though.
Don't applaud yourself for that.
I know. Guess who can applaud himself all he wants? This guy.
Plus,
Mike
what-
YDWYWs.
if you applaud your own joke, then it ceases to be funny.
If you bring
Hey,
yourself
Andy,
joy, then you still have
If you
joy.
can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
She's
Get out.
She's problematic too.
You're problematic.
I never said I wasn't.
Because why? Because you're a person that's alive.
Sorry, didn't mean to yawn.
So,
Uh-huh.
speaking of horns, what if we, next year, instead of Stephen King month, what if we did Joe Hill month?
Oh my god, now you're blowing my mind.
Oh,
Why don't we cross that bridge when we get to it?
Yeah, knock on wood.
are we going to be alive?
I want to cross that bridge right this second. I want to put a date to it. I'm just kidding. I don't want to do anything. It was just an idea because you said horns. Anyway, did anybody ever watch Horns?
I
No.
did. It was really good. I thought.
I still
The
never
movie's
have
good?
not read it.
I love the
really
book.
like
Yeah.
the book. Yeah, I just never watched it.
I dressed up as Harry Potter horns one year.
Yeah.
It was a good costume.
Horny
Horny
Potter.
pot.
Mike and I just did something that people thought was impossible according to physics. We occupied the same space.
You did.
Same joke space.
Yeah.
Spooge.
Pooh.
He beat it in her hair.
Stop.
That guy's dead.
Did he die?
I thought he died.
Jim Dale,
The Harry Potter
Narrator?
audiobook guy.
of course, as usual, I always think everyone's dead.
Yeah.
He died.
I remember
Did
he did?
Oh no, I didn't look it
Oh,
up.
Google
I just
it.
felt like saying.
Do you remember John? I thought John Aston was dead, but he's not.
Yeah, well, he seems like he should be.
He seems like he should be.
He's 1,000,000 years old.
Oh, you know who died? Robert Guillaume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So
R.I.P.
A
Benson.
lot of people posted
A
that.
lot of people were worried
Yeah.
about you, Kelley.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Robert Guillaume was old as this is the dirt. He wasn't. I mean, he was 89. But that's pretty old.
That's a pretty good life.
That's a good life. I can't be like I'm sad that it can be said that Benson is no longer walking the halls of the governor's mansion in the flesh.
Mhm.
He could be in ghost form.
So he was pretty old when he did Benson, right?
No, it was the
60s.
What was the 80? I mean, it was
No.
like 80. 1980 to like 1985.
I'm not good at math.
He's probably in his late 40s when he did Benson.
What's this year? 2017?
Sure.
Mhm,
89.
correct.
So 2007 he was 79. 1997 he was 69.
yeah.
1987 he was 59.
Mm.
1977 he was 49, which was the year I was born. So yeah, he was in his 50s when he did Benson. He looked great.
Jim Dale is still alive.
All right, everyone. I think I should save lives by saying people are dead.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we just shout out random names, you would think they were dead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, everyone that I think is dead is alive. So if
Yeah.
I say someone's dead, maybe I'm saving
We
their
should
lives.
do a game show called Dead or Alive Celebrity Edition, and you just say a name, and Kelly tells you if they're dead or alive.
And the theme song can be Wanted, Dead, or Alive. But like,
yeah.
That's double.
oh,
my
shit.
gosh,
we
you
should go to the Cachino.
Tyne Daly.
No. A cappuccino.
You got to answer. Tyne Daly.
Oh, she's alive.
Bing, bing, bing. Correct.
The other one is too.
Burgess Meredith.
Dead.
Correct. Ding, ding.
Super
ding.
dead.
Robert
Okay.
Urich.
Dead.
Yep.
Of cancer.
Yep. Correct.
I can't think of any old people.
I can't think. Phyllis Dilla.
Oh, she was always dead.
Oh.
Casey Kasem.
Dead.
I'm Casey Kasem.
I'm Casey Kasem. Welcome to American Top 40.
I used to do it better.
I used to. Trust me.
the dad from Frasier.
He's alive.
Chumley from Pawn Stars.
He is alive,
Okay.
but he should be dead.
And there's also a headline on those clickbait sites that say he died, but nobody even mentioned it, and it's a picture of Chumley,
But he's alive.
but he's alive.
They might think he's dead.
Freddie, nobody watches Pawn Stars.
But do you know how he popped up and I said, "Oh, Chumley died," and then I was like, "No, he didn't." Those clickbait articles are great. Like they'll put like,
He's like, hey, do you want to buy that 1951 Ford Firebird? I'm hungry. I guess.
So I'm assuming Chumley was a big old fat person.
yeah,
yeah.
he was fat. I think he lost all the weight though,
All of it?
most of it.
That's why he's dead. He
According
lost all the weight.
according to another clickbait article that says, "Look
Chumley
at him now."
is skinny, sexy AF.
Yeah, your jaw will drop when you see what Chumley looks like now. Click here.
And it's just a picture of an urn.
Well, then it starts. He did.
He
lose
lost
weight.
a lot of weight.
Yeah, 0% body fat now. I guess
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, what's your secret?
it's all been rendered away.
So anyway, Halloween is in 2 days.
I know.
So we talked about we're having a show tomorrow. Overlook Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends, the Overlook Lodge, come out if you can. We expect you to.
Come aboard. We're
We're
expecting.
Tuesday
you.
is Halloween. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody got plurns?
I got it. We haven't even bought candy yet, did we, Freddy?
Yeah, well, because of the drive-in last night.
Do we have enough left over?
There's quite a bit. We'll see
Good.
how much I eat tonight.
Yeah, that's what's been happening at my house. We got a shit ton of candy, but I've been eating a shit ton of
I
candy.
still got to put razor blades in apples, so
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Oh, so much work.
But we're pretty excited. We're gonna pass out candy.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our fire pit. You are welcome to walk down. We're gonna have mulled wine and hot cider and hot cocoa.
See what's going on.
Sounds nice.
And I mean, we're obviously after trick or treat only lasts till 8. But I'm sure we'll be sitting out there for quite a while.
Is that what you're giving to the trick-or-treaters? Just
Yeah.
put a
Mulled
scoop of wine in their bag?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
You can.
And really, this is something we can talk about at the live show if you want, but like, do you guys remember having a time limit on trick-or-treating when you were a kid?
Yes.
No.
I don't remember.
I don't.
We
I did.
trick-or-treated.
Well, all right,
We
Kelley.
trick-or-treated until the
Sorry.
lights went out.
Yeah, that's the way it worked in this neighborhood too. It was
just
pretty
kept going?
much
Yeah, the signal was that
free for all.
when you're out of candy, you turn your porch light off.
I think parents got smart, and they were like, "I don't want to be walking around all night long,
Okay,
so we're gonna make it 5 to 8."
I never walked around with my
it's
parents.
6 to 8.
Yeah, they
Is
just
it
sent
6 to 8
us.
now? Oh. And I thought it was 5 to 8, but that's fine because I tell you what, the last few years, when I was walking around with my youngest, I was ready for 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, my legs hurt. But now that I sit and pass out candy, it could go on for as long as it wants. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I remember because the cool neighborhoods were like till 9, and then my neighborhood was always till 8, or at least that's what my caregiver told me.
Trick or treat is
The
from
state
5 to
of-
6.
The state of Ohio.
Yeah.
Mike's caregiver.
And it's like it didn't start till it was dark. Now it's like there's some neighborhoods that do it at like 5:30.
Does anybody else worry about like if they're bringing their enough game to their houses when they pass out candy? Do you guys all pass out candy?
We
You
do. We
There's not
team
many.
up with the neighbors.
Okay.
My mom.
Yeah.
And we have a fire pit we set up in the driveway. And we
Okay.
sit around the fire and we hand out candy. And sometimes I'll play like spooky old radio shows.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I do my hue lights on the haunted house music, but I just put a bucket of candy out, and then if kids like look like they're taking too many pieces, I use my Nest camera to say boo. But I never make an appearance at the
You
door.
don't? You're like
No.
the spooky weird old man.
You're taking too much candy.
But I can,
Johnny,
yeah.
get your ass away from there.
That's actually pretty. You could use that to scare
That's
the
where
shit.
And that kinda-
technology makes things better.
Isn't that kind of creepy that you're spying on kids?
I think it's
I find
sexy.
it funny.
Oh, his name was Lonnie.
As long as it's funny, it's not creepy.
Sure.
We just watched Halloween with Cole for the first time the other night.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed it.
Halloween with Cole also sounds like a Halloween special that Cole Porter recorded.
Yeah.
It's like
Halloween. Halloween.
Yeah.
boogity boo.
We have to finish our decorations probably today.
Yeah.
We have to put out our big spider, and we have to put up our lanterns.
I heard you put out Big Spider.
Hmm But we carved our pumpkins.
Your pumpkins are great.
I know. Thank you.
And you're so humble.
Kelly is just prepared to like throw out I knows all the time.
They're
Was
real
it-
good.
I know.
Cole's or Collins that I really like.
Coles.
Cole's is the
It's
best
really
one.
good.
What do you carve?
Just a scary face.
It's just a really good. It's like
Do you
it looks.
freehand it?
It looks like
He-
they burned the eyes out.
He started to use a pattern and he fucked it up, and so he took the pattern off and then finished freehand.
Oh, cool.
It's got good instincts.
Yeah.
I tried to make a tree. It did not turn out so great.
I thought it looked good.
I'm
You like
sorry.
it? I thought it looked kind of childlike.
You're childlike.
Anyway, what does anybody have?
Or Halloween weekend's coming up next weekend.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Columbus.
Elise and I'll be there with my children. We'll be roaming around, just dicking around at buying stuff, I guess. So if you see,
I guess.
I'll wear an NOTLP shirt so you know it's me,
There you go.
and she will too.
There's gonna be Christmas stuff, and it's gonna be like a cozy good time.
Tommy
I think
Atkins
all
is
of us-
going to be there. He's one of my very favorites.
He's pretty great.
I'm very excited about that. It's so funny. I've talked to him like in a personal way before, but then the last time he was at Horror Hound, I walked right past his table. It was the first year Elise was made. She was like, "Well, don't you want to say hi?" And I got real shy. And I was like, "No." I don't know what happened to me.
He didn't have his mustache though.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
I just wish he had like a jar of formaldehyde on his table at the show with a mustache floating in it.
Yeah.
That'd be adorable because then when people are like, "What happened to the mustache?"
Shake it off and put it on.
Or you can just point to it and people are like, "Where's the mustache?" You'd be like, "It's here in the jar."
It fell off.
I had to have it removed. It's cancerous.
It was killing me all those years. But now I feel like I'm 40.
Yeah.
Love Tommy Atkins. Everyone from Friday the 13th Part 5 is there apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know that movie that well, so I don't know who any of those people are.
And then
Heather Langenkamp?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not.
Don't quote me on anything because I could look things up for you.
Doesn't matter. A lot of people, Christmas people, regular people, people who need people, everybody's going to be there. Horrorhound Weekend, Columbus, Christmas.
Go to horrorhoundweekend.com, and I think the Cincinnati stuff is posting soon or is posted already. So if you want to think about March and the Cincinnati show, you may do that way. What's wrong, Kelley?
Oh, I just am like, ugh.
I know it's exhausting.
It is, because if you don't book your hotel
the minute
3 weeks before they announce it, there are no hotels.
No.
Mina Suvari will be there.
Yes, she will.
What?
Zach Galligan.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, just as a reminder, we have a Patreon. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/NOTLP. All the information's there.
It's all there.
Means a lot to us.
Yeah.
There are 91 of you that make this happen every week.
You're sweet, sweet little people.
Your sweet little bottoms.
Mm-hmm. I just want to paint them with orange paint.
Tushies.
And put your tushy on the
pumpkin buns.
Make a little pumpkin bun painting of all of you.
That's some pumpkin spice.
Actually, if you want to paint your buns,
like
press
pumpkins.
them against paper.
Send us
mail
a picture.
it. Yeah. Our PO box is on our website at notlp.com.
Yeah.
I want it.
Right,
you can also take a photo.
Right, NOTLP on it, and then the O is your butthole.
Is your little butthole.
Oh my gosh. All right.
That it, bitch.
I want to see them starfish, folks.
Yeah, let's get some pink eye via the mail.
But just send a picture of it. You don't have to do the.
Yeah, just paint your little butt.
I want to see your turtle head poking out of one of them.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, you broke it.
No.
There's a too far for you, Kelley?
It's not too far. It just it made it unsexy.
It could be the nose of the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
You just draw the eyes and everything else.
Well, now you're talking snowman.
Yeah.
We're done.
That's,
We are done.
If we're gonna add a nose, you have to make a snowman.
But what if a carrot pops out of your butt?
That's what you have to stick a carrot in there.
Yeah.
And that's the head of the snowman.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Then you don't even have to paint it orange.
That's a floppy carrot, then.
It's a brown carrot.
Yeah.
All right, you children.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right.
I didn't have the Russian roulette movie, did I?
No.
No, thank God, because I didn't.
We'll
have one.
be right back.
Now you ask.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Hey, Freddy, I want you.
Somebody get their camera phone out. Your camera phone?
Oh my God.
All right.
Speaking of words nobody uses anymore.
Mick G directed this gem
Mac G.
that went to Netflix.
Mac G. Scottish daddy. Sorry.
That's my favorite order from McDonald's.
The Mick G.
McG, baby.
This, The Babysitter, comedy horror film starring Judah Lewis as Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Samara Weaving as B, the babysitter.
She climb out of the TV.
That's Hugo's niece.
Are they related?
Yeah.
Did you figure that out? Okay, that makes sense.
Are you being real right now?
I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
Oh, okay.
We may have made that up on last week's show.
and then you're like, sure, yeah.
And then it also has a couple of my favorites, Leslie Bibb and Ken Marino as the parents.
Oh yeah.
The guy from Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, that's what he's known for.
He's funny too.
This is a really fun movie. Has everybody seen this?
No, not yet.
You haven't seen it, but everybody else at the table
Yes.
has.
I haven't.
Oh yeah, Amy, you were kind
I
of
think
in and out
that's
of the
the
room.
only word for it. Fun.
It's a Mick G movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen any other Mick G stuff, yeah, he did Deep Blue Sea. He did.
I love that.
Wiley's Angels, right?
I love that movie.
No, it's fun.
Wait, or was that Rennie Harlan?
Rennie Harlan, I think, did.
That was Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, regardless.
Sorry,
Still a good movie.
Their style of filmmaking.
I think they're
somewhat
making a
similar.
sequel to that right now.
He did Charlie's Angels, or I make that up?
McGee did Charlie's Angels.
Did. McGee's.
Mayor McCheese.
He used to direct videos for the Bare Naked Ladies.
Yes, he did videos
and
first.
Cypress Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like kind of like, well, the show Chuck, he did a lot of that. This has a similar vibe to that show. Only
Flashy, fast, colorful, fun.
It was a cute show.
It's a little brighter.
Yeah.
I mean, gorier. Why did I say? Why did I cross those two concepts, gore and light? That's something.
It is kind of
Judith Gore.
Judith
Who's the boss?
Judith Gore. Yeah, it's funny that I associate him with Rennie Harlan because they do have like these super like hit
Judith Gore?
music video style.
I'm gonna give you a Zawo for that, Kelley.
Thank you.
That is a Halloween costume.
It's a very subtle Zawo because you got to think it's a thinker.
It is a thinker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have to know a lot of things to put that all together.
Judith Gore.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a minute.
Angela.
So is it Al Light then?
Oh yes, it is. Leslie Light.
So these the parents, Leslie Bibb, Kim Marino, mom and dad, they're going to go away for a weekend getaway to shtup each other. Apparently, Kelley's favorite word.
Kelley.
His schwans.
He's going to put his schwans in her sprinkle.
Into her boomies.
In her boomies. He's probably going to rub his schwans between her boobies. Her boomies.
He's
And
so upset right now.
they leave their son Cole, who is
he's 12.
12, yeah.
My son Cole is 12.
This is
It's
creepy.
interesting.
Is it Cole?
It's Cole. And this kid's bullied.
Cole is not bullied.
This kid is too old for a babysitter, but he still has one. They're gonna leave him at home with this babysitter who has always babysat him, named B, played by Hugo Weaving's niece. We think. And she's the coolest.
B is the coolest.
And he's having his sexual awakening, so he's starting to realize that his babysitter is hot, and maybe he.
He's looking at her
has
hey
a crush
hays
on
and her
boomies
and her sweetback
and her schwans.
Yeah,
Sweetback?
her hey hays and her sweetback.
Is Sweetback a butt?
It is now. I just
And it sounds like some sort of barbecue thing.
Sweet back,
Hey Hays
baby
and
Ray.
I need an order of Hey Hays and Sweetbacks for table 12.
Anyway,
You
so
want
All right,
coleslaw
come
with
on,
that?
Freddy.
so
Okay,
he's into his babysitter.
his babysitter, who she's just a sweetheart, and things are like super cute between them. Like they do things together, like watching old movies and quoting them to each other, and it's just really a sweet relationship.
And then they drive into the city, and all hell breaks loose.
Yep,
they
they
end
meet
up at a
Thor.
blues. Yeah, at a blues club.
Nobody get out of here without singing the blues.
Nobody fucks with the babysitter.
Don't fuck with the babysitter.
Ain't nobody get out of here without singing the blues.
Okay, Freddy, you just said that.
Hey, Lisa. Lisa.
That's weird science.
Lisa. You kick him in the nuts. Kick him in the nuts.
Oh my God,
It's
Freddy
Anthony
Boy.
Michael Hall. Okay, the babysitter, and his buddy, or his this girl that lives across the street, right? Who's about his age, convinces him that the babysitters, they just like to do this so they can have a place to screw their boyfriends and have orgies and stuff.
Which is true.
And so when she puts him off to bed that night, other teens show up at the house, and this is where things start getting really strange.
She just proved his jealous little friend right.
Well, yeah, so he decides to kind of spy on what they're doing, and it's really super strange. And I can't say more without spoiling some of this, so I'm not going to get into where it takes the turn.
I mean, the description on Netflix does mention Satan.
There's some satanic stuff in it.
Satan.
It's really, really fun. They use McG style. He uses a lot of on-screen graphics. Kind of this movie has some swagger to it.
Oh.
Yeah. And it has some creative death moments that are nice and gory, and it's just fun.
It's nasty.
It's just a good time.
Freddie, he likes to have fun.
Yeah, I like
Sounds fun. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's fun.
Take a shot every time we
Yeah,
say
fun.
fun.
Everybody seemed liking it.
Everybody in the club liked
Everybody
it.
in the
I liked
club.
how it seemed like a throwback to like late 90s, early 2000 movies.
Yeah.
That style.
Mm-hmm.
So is there like a 90s revival now?
Well, I mean, didn't we go through an 80s thing?
Is the 80s
Yeah,
revival done yet?
Are we done with the 80s?
No, I don't
Well,
think
Stranger
so.
Things 2 just dropped. It
Yeah.
can't be over.
What? Oh, yeah. You're right.
It Part
I think
2?
we're still 80s, 90s. Like, when we were in the 90s, when we were in high school and stuff, it was the 70s. We all wore bell bottoms.
Not all of us.
Well, you know what I mean? That was going on.
It was going on. It was hippie time.
But we really have clung to the 80s for a really long time. In the 90s, it's just kind of creeping in now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Delia's catalogs to come back.
Shit, motherfuck, yeah.
Chokers are starting to come back a little bit.
I want a choker, a baby
Slurpees?
tea, and
Chokers?
ginormous Jinko jeans.
I like chokers.
I do too.
What is it about them?
They're hot.
What do we know why?
I think it's how it delineates the head from the body.
Yeah.
It's a line.
You're like, there's two parts to this, lady.
That's the sexiest part right there is the line.
Yeah.
And it hides it.
So if I just Sharpied a line, would that be good enough?
Mm-hmm.
Sharpie the line.
You could just draw it.
Okay.
Draw it on.
All right. Well, Freddie, thank you so much. You recommend The Babysitter?
Yeah. I've got the babysitter blues. baby.
All right. I have a gun.
Oh, no. It's a real one this time. She's over all of this.
I'm fucking over
She's
it.
going to put it
Don't
put
even
it right
fucking try me.
I won't.
This gun is loaded with one movie bullet. I'm going to spin the chamber. I'm going to hand it over to Andy.
Oh, he has to do it himself? I thought you were going to.
Well, it's Russian roulette. You got to do it yourself.
Oh.
Oh, I can do it. I can shoot you.
Ain't she?
I'd love to.
I'm like,
You died.
What do you know?
All right, Andy. Guess what you get to watch?
What do I watch?
Well, first I'm going to tell you who it stars. Dolph Lundgren.
Oh.
Ooh, I love him.
Christina Klebe.
I don't know who that is.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Wasn't she in the, she wasn't in that Terminator. She wasn't that
No, I think she's
lady
a nobody.
Terminator. Okay.
No, that was
Nobody.
That was Christiana Loken, yeah.
This bitch was in something. It's called Don't Kill It.
Don't.
My buzz.
But okay, why did everybody go ooh when Dolph Lundgren came up? Is he kind of a joke?
No, I love Dolph Lundgren. Did you see Expendables?
Yeah.
He was in the second one. He was awesome. Is that not cool to think that?
Let me read the description.
Everybody, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. He is so good in Expendables too.
Let me read that.
Yeah.
The body count climbs in a small Mississippi town when an ancient demon's restless spirit possesses the locals to do terrible things.
I like that kind of thing. I do like that kind of thing where like everybody goes crazy and becomes murder happy.
It's directed by Mike Mendez. Is that somebody?
You know.
It sounds like somebody.
It's Mike
Somebody
Mendez.
to his mom.
You know, his mommy loves him.
He built a fort.
So I gotta know who I'm thinking this chick is because it's very important.
Christina Klebe?
Yes.
She was in the Halloween remake. She played
Thank
Linda.
you. She was in something.
In Proxy, which
And
you didn't see.
She played Linda?
Yeah.
She was in Wolfenstein. She's in the Friday the 13th game.
Totally.
She was in your dreams. Okay, don't kill it. Andy's gonna
There's
talk about
an
that.
actor in this movie that's credited as playing the sexy demon.
Ooh, I like sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much demons.
Well, this is exciting.
This is the guy that edited Tales of Halloween.
What demon isn't sexy?
Which
He
I
edited
enjoyed.
Tales of Halloween?
And Grave Dancers. Yeah. His direct.
So it should be concise.
He directed one of the segments in Tales of Halloween too. Apparently,
That Tales of Halloween didn't work very well for me.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it had some really good bits in it.
I did too.
It
Some
worked. It
not
worked
so great.
It worked better in a audience.
Oh, it's the guy who
setting.
directed the Grave Dancers too.
You just
He-
said that.
I said he edited it.
He edited it.
He edited it.
I edited it. TM Petey Pants.
It's hard to do that.
I like the Grave Dancers a lot. Have you seen it?
Which one was that?
It was one of those 8 films
Glory?
to die for, where they go and they dance on their
Graves.
the graves.
Claire
when they go to
Kramer's
the,
in it.
They have like the reunion.
Glory.
They have the reunion with all the friends for the funeral, and they dance on the grave. And it turns out that if you dance on graves under a full moon or something, that the dead will come back for revenge.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's not the greatest movie, and it's not going to win any Academy Awards. It's not going to get out of here without singing the blues.
My computer.
All right.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Why'd you segue into Vinnie Barbarino?
I went from Vinnie Barbarino into Woody Allen. Hey, we're kicking off Return of the King, our tribute to Stephen King that we do every year.
Most years.
Gerald's Game, directed by Mike Flanagan. Screenplay adapted from the book by Stephen King.
Jerry's Fun Time.
Starring Carla Gugino, Bruce Greenwood, Henry Thomas.
I like Bruce Greenwood.
Also has Kate Siegel in it.
I know Bruce Greenwood, but like, what do I know Bruce Greenwood from? Like a million things, right?
You know him. He was Pike in Star Trek, the Star Trek remake.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Captain Pike. He's a character actor.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He was in The Kingsman.
Was he?
Who was he in Kingsman?
Oh, the new one.
Oh, I
He
didn't
was the
see
president.
I just saw. Oh shit! That's right. I didn't even realize that was him.
Yeah, this is he's made another for Netflix movie too called Spectral, which is a sci-fi movie. So apparently this is where he lives now. He lives in the Netflix box.
Well, I feel like once you get in Netflix, you stay in Netflix.
It seems like a pretty sweet deal, but you know
it does.
They just pay everybody a flat fee for all these movies. They don't.
Is that true?
Yeah, it doesn't work like regular movies where they can sign up to get profits on the back end at all.
Yeah, you just get paid.
You just get paid, and that's it. It's done. They own it. Once it's done, it's all Netflix. So it doesn't matter,
Are these movies
filmmakers
eligible for Academy Awards and stuff?
Some of them are.
They do.
Some of them they have to be released in a theater for like at least a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like something that should eventually change.
And it's just a limited release too.
Yeah.
They don't even have to do that. many screens,
it could be
I don't
one.
think.
It could be one theater, I think.
Yeah, it's some small amount. So, Carla Gugino from, you probably know her from
Karen Sisko.
Sin
Watchmen, Sin City,
Karen Sisko.
Ninth Museum.
It's a very sexy week because between the babysitter and Carla Gugino, a lot of pretty ladies.
Carla Gugino is much more my speed than the babysitter.
I know, but you still agree that she was still sexy,
She
right?
was sexy.
Yeah.
I'm
just saying it's a good week for ladies.
Yeah,
ladies.
Carla Gugino's a cut above though.
Yeah.
Carla Gugino's great. Plus, she's just great. She's just great. She's got a good presence.
She's just
I don't think she gets nearly enough roles.
I like again. So I'm obviously I'm going to go on record. I didn't like this movie, not because it's not the movie's fault. Honestly,
it's just the story.
I don't like the story. The movie I felt like it was competent. So like everybody did their job.
I was
just
surprised
don't
by
like it.
how compelling the movie ended up being, considering what such an internal book it was.
It is. Yeah, that's.
I wasn't a huge fan of the book.
No,
but I really liked the movie a lot.
But just about Carla, I like that again. I like this trend where like you are getting some more movies with like not older makes it sound like
just
they're like,
adults.
Adults, yes,
Yeah.
horror movies with adults in them.
They didn't hire like a 25-year-old to play.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the story of Gerald's Game, in case you're not familiar, is a couple goes away for a sexy weekend to Verstappen with his schwans and her Clamato.
Clamato.
It doesn't work on Kelley anymore. He's immune.
It doesn't. But I will say, in the book, Gerald, I think, was a much more of a prick, like, to begin with.
Oh, you mean like you're getting her internal understanding of who he is in the book, where in the movie you don't get that.
He was chunky.
Yeah. Bruce Greenwood is
Bruce Greenwood is in great shape.
Yeah.
That was one of the startling moments in the movie when he disrobes, and you're like, he's taking good care of himself. I don't even think he needs that Viagra.
I'm like, you guys are having trouble having sex? You guys are too sexy.
I know. Mm-hmm. Well, you get to a certain age sometimes. It just doesn't. Physically, it doesn't work. The mind is willing.
Yeah,
but the penis.
I'm just going on very
flaccid.
Basic levels of
But here's the thing: that Bruce Greenwood needs, the man, not the character, to get hard is violence. Yeah. I mean, the character, not the man.
Bruce Greenwood, not Gerald, but what Bruce Greenwood.
Bruce Greenwood is such
Greenwood.
He's such a monster.
He wants to release the secret weapon.
He's like a vampire.
They're just not in love anymore, and it's like a last gasp, right?
Yeah.
There's some great, like you were saying, there's directorial moments in this of her laying out the slip. Well, even the opening where he's packing up his things for this trip, real basic. It's basically Viagra and handcuffs.
Yeah.
And he's packing everything up. There's these great overhead shots. And then later they mirror this a few times throughout the movie where Carla Gugino's laying out the slip, and then they married again later when they reveal her backstory, with her laying out the dress as a little girl, which is incredibly difficult, which I think they handled in a really it made you really feel how awful child abuse can be.
I did not want to watch this for this very reason.
It was awful.
And again, in the book, it is described pretty graphically too. It's just I hated that part of the book.
All right, let's finish this sentence.
So he changed her to the bed, and he starts having this. He has this whole rape fantasy, which she's not into. It triggers her. He wants her to call him daddy, which, as you'll learn as the story progresses, is the worst possible
Doesn't work
thing.
for her.
Right, yeah, he could have done. And then they have a little argument, and he, has a heart attack and collapses dead on top of her.
Now, in the book, she kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah.
And that's what triggers his heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been so long since I read that book.
He really was more of a... I mean, not that he's a nice dude in this, but like he was more of like just a dumb pig in the book. Like he was just like a dumb businessman pig. Like his character barely actually factored into the book. Like once he was dead in the book, that was sort of it for him.
Yeah.
He was not a major kind of, his presence wasn't a big deal.
Now, years ago, we covered Dolores Claiborne, which is the companion piece to Gerald's game.
Yeah.
They both take place during this eclipse, at least portions of the story do. And they also involve child abuse.
Yeah.
But in this, it's a race against time. She's going to die of dehydration.
He dead on the floor.
And there's also this dog that keeps visiting.
Being eaten.
Yeah, she's worried. Again, in the book, the idea that the dog might turn to her is a big concern.
Yeah. I looked at my dogs during this, and I was like, guys, you would hesitate a little bit.
Then there's also the man made of moonlight. In the book, she called him the space cowboy.
Yeah.
That's how she
right.
Well, some people call him the space cowboy.
I like that. I like that change better because space cowboy doesn't seem scary, but like man made of moonlight, that sounds more threatening.
I'm happy to see Lurch getting work.
Yeah.
So it always makes me happy.
He's the Ed Gein.
He does talk about it a lot, you guys. Friday, like at night, he's like, I hope Lurch is good.
I hope he's doing okay.
I tried to read this book when I was in high school. I was misled by the cover of the book because I thought it was Stephen King does the sexy book. And then when that didn't really happen for me, I kind of got bored in it. But I did enjoy this movie.
I was also drunk when I watched this last night, so
should
my memories
read
are
Stephen King's The Schwanzing.
The Schwanzing.
It's pretty good.
But again, the book to me, it was one of the first. The only book I didn't like between 1974 and 1991, a few shorts withstanding, was the Tommyknockers, and then everything else was golden. And then this came along, and I was like, ooh.
He definitely switched gears pretty abruptly.
The style was completely different. Yeah. Everything was very different.
Those 3 books.
I felt like he had given up in that era. And for me, honestly, the first time I read Needful Things, I liked it, but I could feel him shifting gears to something else.
Yeah, I really do like Needful Things.
Yeah, on a revisit, as an adult, I enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
But as a teenager reading his books, all of his other stuff just felt so perfect for a teenage audience to me.
Yeah.
Like all the supernatural stuff, there was so much there that it was just there. What I wanted was there. And then as he was moving into more adult themes and people reconciling their pasts and stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't have a past to reconcile, I guess, as an audience, and it made it really hard to get into them.
Yeah. I've always really liked Needful Things, but it was the last one before Gerald's Game. It was really Needful Things closed the book on 70s and 80s Stephen King.
Yeah. And it's interesting that there is that very definite.
Yeah, it is a clear delineation.
Yeah. So I don't remember much about the book. Really, I don't.
Well, in the book, the voice, how in this, it's Gerald who kind of is the voice. Gerald and her dad are kind of the voice of her past and her own. In the book, it's her lesbian roommate from college that is always talking in her head, who had a thing for her, and she's always telling her to be strong and. Yeah.
In the movie, it's Gerald.
Yeah, it's Gerald.
His her mind kind of hallucinates her and Gerald as like the good and evil talking to her, basically, and her self is the one that's like, bitch, get your shit together.
It was a really good way of, because like you said, the book is all in her head almost entirely. And again, it's her, that roommate, talking to her as if she's there. So the way they handled it in this, it was good. I think it just made it easier, and it gave you a visual component, and it still managed to be creepy because obviously he was dead. Yeah, and also like you were saying, they kind of function as like he's all of her weakness and doubt, and and this other version of herself, the super tough version of herself, is like all of her confidence and
it's her
resourcefulness.
It's
her Karen Cisco.
Yeah. Just why have I never? That was like a show that was on for like one season. What happened? She was like a tough, like
she's a detective.
PI.
She's a PI.
Yeah.
She was the VI Warshawski.
Yeah. Anyway,
did Stephen King? I mean, to me, this one of the big things that stuck out to me about this film that I did like was I love the Dolores Claiborne film. I read it's a short story, right?
No, it's a novel.
Is it a novel? But I really enjoy that movie quite a bit, and I didn't realize I'd heard that there's a lot of overlap between these two films, but seeing how much a companion. But both of them seem like they deal a lot with like feminist kind of ideas of women power over man and all that stuff. Is that really? Are these the only two that Stephen
over
King
men and
does
their
that?
marriage? No, Rose Matter
and Rose Matter.
Okay.
I mean, he's done that a few times, but like that was those three books were specifically meant to explore that idea.
And Beverly's whole story in it is kind of part of that.
He always had damaged, abused women in his stories, but these were like from their point of view about what happened to them and how that affects them in the future in their lives.
Like usually, it's a side plot in another story where it was the story.
Right.
It's interesting. Who in his life was abused?
Well, his mom, she was
I don't know much about him.
His dad ran off at an early age. His mom was a single mom, raised him and his brother or brothers. I know he had one brother at least. And, she was kind of stern and wasn't around. I mean, he really, loved her, but like she was, she kind of had a hard life.
So maybe he's working out his mommy issues here.
Yeah, he's definitely done that before because I mean, like he's written about like her death,
right?
Like the
woman in the room.
The woman in the room.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger reading 4 Past Midnight, and there's a story in there called The Library Policeman that has like a really, really brutal depiction of. This is probably the first time I've ever have experienced media form dealing with child rape, and it's still to this day, probably 40 years late. Well, 30 years later, it resonates with me.
I'm not sure. I don't know if he's ever discussed if he's ever been abused, because there's also a scene in Tommy Knockers, which is again really graphic and horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Really horrific. It's one of those things where it's like the language sticks with you. Like I can remember, I will not utter the words in the language of Mordor. Yeah. But I can even remember like the way it's described. That's
exactly what the Library Policeman is. There are certain lines in that I can remember that just resonate. There, it's just like ugh.
So in the novel, it was Beverly sexually abused or just physically abused?
She was not. Yeah, she was physically abused for sure. But her dad wanted to fuck her. Okay. And she kind of figured that out. Like at first she didn't understand, and then at a certain point it became very clear.
So in Gerald's game, you get fucking Ruin Elliot from E.T. You get this flashback to what happened to Jessie when she was a young girl.
That was adult Elliot.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like
such a unique face. Yeah, I was thinking that. Okay.
I think his performance was out of this world.
Yeah,
it's so good in this. Because
it was out of this
world, like E.T.
But he committed to.
It's because he played like a normal person. He didn't like come off as creepy.
Yeah. Well, because in the book it wasn't even like, again, obviously not to excuse an abuser, but it was like this thing that almost happened like in the moment. Like it wasn't like in the book it wasn't really premeditated.
It felt premeditated in the movie.
Yeah,
because in the movie like he came across as skeezy, but this was scarier because this could be your next door neighbor.
Well, he was a regular dad.
Yeah,
not to mention what happens after. With the scene, the manipulation.
Well, the manipulation in the moment where he's like, don't you remember Remember when you?
Yeah.
I bet you don't want to do that. You don't want to sit on my lap. And she does, and the abuse happens, and we all wanted to kill ourselves in that moment. And then it ends. And then later you get the moment where he manipulates her into not wanting to tell.
That scene was worse for me than
It was
the actual
awful.
abuse scene.
It was just awful. And both the actors, the young girl and him, were so good in it.
Yeah.
It was just made me want to stab all men.
But
Yeah,
it's
it was really,
the
really
part
hard.
that I thought was so great about that scene is that it helps you kind of have an understanding of what the resonating effects of the abuse afterwards,
And
because
how
you
it
see
happened,
like he in some of those internal conflicts she's having. The husband talks about like how we could never have close friends because you were never able to make real connections with people, and you can see like how those statements that the dad made in manipulating her into not going there, being honest about that, have impacted her for the rest of her life, because now she can't connect with people, including her husband, who we may or may not know is.
How do you trust anybody ever again?
Yeah,
After something
that's
like
the
that
scary
happens.
stuff.
Well, it was interesting because I was so icked out by the abuse stuff, but I'm like more okay with kids being killed. It's easier for me to take
because
you
it's
don't-
just
you
it's
don't
over
see-
and done with.
Yeah, you don't see the after effects of what
It's
of like the abuse on
And
their
what you mean is
lives.
in a film, right?
Yeah.
You're okay.
Well,
I love
again,
it in real
they're
life.
both horrific acts, but
yeah.
like,
It's easier to see
depicted.
Georgie's arm bitten off than it is
exactly.
to see this little
But
girl
like
be-
just because it's more like you can. They survived it, and they got to live with it, so you could see how the ripple effect of everything.
Well, and usually too, when you're seeing, depictions especially in movies of kids, it's usually in a fantastical kind of unrealistic way. Whereas this, you're like, yeah, I know this happens.
Yeah, you can't make pedophilia fantastical. It has to be
Right.
depicted in like a honest, truthful way.
And again, to give him props, like, I never felt like any of his descriptions were exploitative, but just very matter of fact and straightforward. And I feel like he managed to capture how like just awful and kind of insidious, especially in that Tommy. Like I hate that book partially for this reason. It just really is just awful. Yeah. But he kind of captures it really brilliantly of how it just like again and in Gerald's game he did it well too, where it was just again like I said in the book, it was just this sort of like it had kind of been building like in the I don't want to get too into it because we're talking about the movie, but like in the book, her and her dad kind of had this. It was like a weird kind of just like this weirdness, but it was never, it didn't really cross a line. And then on the day of the eclipse, like, I guess he decided to cross the line. But it wasn't like.
Well, was it suggested like the eclipse made him do it?
No.
Kind of like, okay. I thought it was like
you kind of have a line in there that said that he tries to blame it a little bit on the eclipse was a moment, and Dolores Claiborne has that very same thing happening when they're on the boat.
Because I thought it was like depicted as some supernatural event that like made people do things they wouldn't normally.
He might have said that, but I think that was more of an excuse. The eclipse itself didn't actually.
Well, the most insidious thing is the way he turns it around to make it sound like it's her idea to keep it a secret.
Yeah,
and that part, that was like the thing that you're just like, this is just
okay. Now that's what she was talking about. Like she said, like that the incident was bad enough, but like the worst part was what happened after.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it manipulation part that what happened after?
I guess so. Yeah.
Because that's where like the reality of it is that when the reason that you have that okay with the death as opposed to that is that the true terror is the trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma is a terrifying thing, and I think we're just now in the mental health world really starting to get into exactly what are the repercussions of trauma when people have these levels of trauma, and how does that have the impact? What creates an abuser? It's usually people who go on to abuse later or do these kinds of things is from the trauma. So that is the true terror is. How do you make these monsters? Well, they're probably been traumatized in some way.
Almost always.
To create
that. It's a cycle.
Yeah, it is a cycle. So it's a really scary.
Like Henry Bowers, y'all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it implied that the incident with the eclipse was just that one? It was only that one incident, or
in the book, it was the only incident.
In the movie, I think it was too.
There is a this would be very interesting for Stephen King to have been on this already that long ago, but there is a lot of talk in the psychological and also in somewhat the spiritual mystical world about like the idea of moon cycles and what that does to elevating, the traumas and elevating those kinds of energy and elevating
elevating dad boners.
If you're into that kind of thing at all, and people know like what the eclipse, the recent eclipse that just happened, a lot of people say that there's a lot of going on in the world, and part of that matches up with the cycle of our bodies are 80% water,
as a woman,
and
I'm
moon
already
pulls the water and
in tune. Okay, I have a lunar cycle within myself.
That was my spooky bits for
I liked it.
Yeah.
And it could be,
but
who
there
knows?
is some research there that's starting to show that those kinds of things do get elevated when there's an idea of the whole Wolfman, full moon and
full moon. I mean, ask anybody that works in like an ER or with like
or
a lot
a
of
school.
people, or school or in retail.
Yeah.
Like that's when shit gets crazy.
Yeah.
Or from home.
Or from home, just living your life alone.
But it was a tough weekend in terms of movies for us because we saw it again, and like with the child abuse and that, and seeing it again in Gerald's game. I'm like, ugh, what a heavy weekend, guys.
Yeah.
It is heavy. It's heavy stuff, and the impacts of that and what that does.
So let's get to the fun stuff.
Let's get to the Ed Gein of the movie. Or did you have other fun stuff in mind?
Well, the degloving.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch. So she finally, the angel, Carla Gugino, is like, you know what to do, bitch.
Again, best part of the book was the degloving and the revelation about Jubert.
Yeah. I think this was worse for me than Martyrs because we saw it happen. As opposed to Martyrs, we just saw her skin body at the end. We didn't see the skin come off like in this movie.
Yeah, so she eventually realizes she can smash the glass that she has and use it to cut herself so that the blood will help her get slick and get through the... I know. And it was so awful. And
What's nice too, real quick before you get back, is the way they set up where like he did a good job of like setting up all the objects that were near her, like in the beginning, like you were talking about her laying stuff out, like all of that stuff, like they're a little like you see her like setting the thing on the shelf. And,
he's really good at placing, and this is I think that's a Hitchcock thing, right?
It is, yeah.
Where he'll set the scene,
the loaded gun thing,
and then it comes back later, and
it's just setting
tag.
up.
It's what M. Night Shyamalan trying to do in Signs and then fucked up horrifically.
Fucked it up, bitch.
Although I do like that movie.
So she cuts. She's like, angel on her shoulder, like you can't cut too deep. She'll bleed out. You just need enough. And she cuts herself with the glass. And then starts to pull her hand through the... Oh, God, I had to look away. I was
This is one of those... There are very few things that, like, really, like... For me, that is one of them.
Would you do it?
Yeah, if I had to get out, but, like...
Andy had a better way, he thought. Andy was testing it out in my living room.
If I was her, I would have just did a backflip.
I'm like, what are you
and kicked off the wall
to push the bed out?
Push the bed out. Can you visualize what I'm saying?
Yeah, I picture you breaking both of your arms.
Yeah, the problem is, like, what if you get stuck that way?
And then what if you
you're hanging by your
shoulder?
I sure miss laying on the mattress.
And then instead of just dying, now you die in horrible pain.
But still, you can move around still.
Oh.
No, I didn't think you might be wrong. Definitely think you might be wrong.
I was trying to cars this movie, and it didn't work.
I was running through just because I saw the iPhones, which I realized is an update from the thing, but I'm running through my Hey Siri, like the whole idea of like that you could use voice
in, right?
Yeah.
We talked about you, Kelley. We said you had been screwed because your phone would be dead.
It's never charged.
It's dead right now.
How do you live like that?
I don't know.
Okay, like you can just shout out Hey Siri and it'll dial even if it's locked.
It has to be plugged in to a power source.
I think you can turn that off now in the newer.
Oh, you can?
Oh, so
try it. Somebody try it.
It's like
voice recognition.
If we're doing it, then people's phones are going to be going crazy right now.
So it's like voice recognition, right? That's why it unlocks.
What?
It unlocks because it recognizes your voice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like
Well, it
I
was
was
his phone.
having a panic. This is not in the same way of skinning my hand off, but I was driving to Chicago and I couldn't get my phone to work, and so I was trying. The only thing I could make work were voice control commands, which actually was quite maddening for about an hour of my drive because I had no idea where I was going. But you can do some things with it.
But I remember she made that straw out of the tag, and I was like, that's not gonna work. That's a thick ass piece of paper for her to do that. Because I remember at Horror Hound one time we tried to make a funnel for Kelley's to pour the bourbon into Kelley's flask.
It got all over my pants.
Hey Siri.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it happened.
That's what I figured.
What, bitch?
She was
Siri,
like, yeah,
yes,
that's what I
Siri.
thought. You don't got shit to say.
Well, I never.
She heard you. All right, we're done with you, bitch. All right, so that would work. Have your Hey Siri on. Make sure your phone is charged
Right.
before you allow yourself to get trapped in a situation that somebody, if they were to die, you'd be fucked.
That is another, like, again, like I said, I didn't like the book, but the setup is actually really great because who thinks about, and I guarantee that's because he's always often said that his process always starts with a what if. So I'm sure his process, like maybe he watched a porno, maybe he saw something, and he was like, oh shit, what if somebody got handcuffed during sex and their partner dies?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she finally gets out by almost degloving her hand entirely. And then thank God she had maxi pads, real big ones, in the bathroom so she could like tape up
She
her
was old timey.
Yeah, I'm like, Carla,
So one of those
No
with the belt.
tampons. She didn't have coupons for tampons.
it's like no Diva Cup. What's going on here? And so she tapes her hand up, and the Moonlight Man is there. She had been seeing this thing in the corner. Is it real? Is it not real? And she walks up to him, and she's like, "Are you real?" She's like, "Me in a haunted house."
Yeah.
And he's got like a bag full of bones.
I thought it was kind of cute.
Trinkets.
The way he shows her the inside of the bag. He looked to me. I know he's
He looked
supposed to be.
sweet.
He looked sweet. Yeah. Like I didn't find him threatening.
The scene where he's just standing in the corner
Yeah.
when she first sees him, that really got me.
Yeah.
And he like slowly comes into the
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
That was real scary.
The
Because sometimes I've had like one or two night terrors like that.
Oh yeah.
Where like the person's like standing over you, and that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and like she thought, like, is it real? Am I like really experiencing that right
She's
now?
all fucked up, so she just is like, "Here's my wedding ring. Bye."
Yeah.
He seems so gentle.
Yeah.
Like
You find out later
yeah.
that he's a grave robber turned murderer later.
Right.
He's the Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn necrophiliac.
Yes.
And
He's got
then-
a bag full of vaginas.
Like and it's interesting, like this was a very difficult twist to throw in at the end of this movie. I do think they pulled it off, but
It got
just
a little
barely.
goofy.
Well, and it's same in the book. Like again,
Yeah.
like it was again sort of like I feel like Stephen King felt like he had to have that also kind of grew, you know, that sort of very specific horror element in that story.
I do like the more I thought about it, like I forgot about a lot of this part of the book for some
Yeah.
reason because it felt like a whole different story.
Well, yeah, it feels sort of tacked on there too.
Yeah, but I would miss it if they took it out of the movie.
There is, so she gets away. I mean, she, runs, she passes out the car, she has a horrible accident, but eventually she does get away. And then it was very much a drastic shift in the tone from the movie, like it was in the book.
Yeah,
And it was a little like,
it was like months later.
it was very wordy. It was all like exposition dump. She's writing a letter to herself, to her younger self.
Yeah, she's having trouble writing because her hand is still healing.
Yeah, and she is now like a counselor for kids. She's got all Gerald's money, and now she's gonna use it to help kids that have been abused. But it's all this voiceover and exposition, which is just
Done by Daniel Stern, weirdly enough.
I know. It's just weird.
But part of again, this is why it's so interesting now, because I think some of this stuff is more recent, the research, but like the whole idea of with trauma, the only people that typically are able to deal with that is people who've also been through trauma, because people who have gone through trauma feel like I'm too much of a burden by sharing. Like nobody wants to feel this level of negative energy. So now that she's been through this, the thing that she can do is she can be that voice. So I think it was really important for her both to be able to tell her story, because now that's allowing her to help other people through their story. That's like the whole trauma, like this whole trauma thing that happens in this book, which is really, I mean, if that's what Stephen King was going for back at the time when he was writing, it's like really on to a lot of stuff in the mental health world that they're just getting to. Yeah.
He's like ahead of his time.
So I was thinking, like, at the end, she confronts the Moonlight Man and says, "You're a lot smaller than I remembered." Or
she
something.
finds him, realizes he's real. I don't think she ever realized that.
Yeah. But is his only purpose to serve is like her confronting her demons?
No, I think that the personal purpose is that it's something real that she can stand up to and say, "You're not scary."
Yeah.
But
I love how he's like, but that's why I felt kind of tacked on the whole background of his all the other stuff he did, and him in general, I guess.
Yeah, like this whole 5-minute period where you learn all about his crimes.
Well, they did tease it in the beginning, but it's real subtle.
Yeah, real subtle on the radio, right?
Yeah.
It just it
I
was
do
a little,
like that when he's like, "You're made of moonlight." I thought that was like kind of spooky and sweet all at the same time. You're like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know he's doing something wrong." When he came in and started cutting pieces of her husband off.
And you see that at the end of the movie, like when she approaches him there, like he just is even though what he's done is so terrifying, it's like you feel a little sympathy for the monster that he is.
Yeah, and he rips his chains off, but she still goes up and confronts him. So like, it shows that she's stronger now.
Yeah.
She's Britney in that song.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of just I see this stretch, but I also feel like there's a lot of metaphor going on there that I guess I have a tendency to pull things out a little bit too far, but I do see a lot of
I think
pretty heavy metaphor there with that character.
It would have really ruined that whole sequence if they played "This Is My Fight" song. I would probably be like, "Fuck."
Or would you be like, "That was so brave"?
I would have put on my yoga pants.
Went on a limb. Yeah.
What about "Eye of the Tiger"? Would that have been better?
What would have been the worst possible song selection for that sequence?
The Immigrant Song?
Oh, where were you?
But you mean that Katy Perry song, right? I got the eye of the tiger.
Well, no, I meant "Eye of the Tiger."
No, I
Survivor.
meant Katy Perry.
Oh, Roar.
That's
Roar.
Survivor by Destiny's Child.
Oh my gosh.
But back to your point of the Immigrant Song is always the right choice.
Always the right choice.
Yeah, that belongs in every scene.
I'm never going to get the license for that.
Speaking
I think
of
we close out on that. Her and Jubert just laughing together about all of his weird body parts.
I know Kelly hates the yeah, yeah, yeahs, but Karen O does a really good cover of that song.
I know, and it's from the
Girl with the
Girl with
Dragon
Dragon
Tattoo,
Tattoo.
You ever heard Heart covered it too? It's really, really good.
Heart did?
Yeah.
It's on
It's like a live
album.
cover.
Fucking Barracuda would have been great to go out.
Yeah,
on.
Barracuda.
Yeah, Barracuda would have been good.
So
It'd have been in line with the tone, right?
It would have been perfect.
it happy ending, you know.
Ooh.
So, like,
What happened to the dog?
It lived a long, happy life eating
Good.
corpses.
It got full.
this movie, and it's directed by Mike Flanagan, but like, this would be. It reminded me. He did a lot of the same things in Hush, where she had the internal dialogue of what to do in this, like.
I didn't realize he directed Hush. I just watched Hush.
that was a really good movie.
I loved Hush.
It was a good
fantastic.
movie.
And like the same way she's like working out like what would happen like if you do this.
Now it does. Yeah, that comes together. I did not realize he did Hush.
Because like and the lead actress in Hush played her mom in this movie.
Oh,
that's his wife.
Oh
yeah.
Mike Flanagan hasn't
And the
gone wrong.
The Newton brothers did the music for all of his movies.
Like he's consistent. He's a consistently good dude.
Yeah, I sure liked Oculus.
Well, I think the best part is he creates characters you really care for.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you notice the headboard was the frame from the mirror in Oculus?
I didn't.
Isn't that neat?
Nobody noticed.
That was such a good. That movie stuck with me.
Oculus is great.
I love Absentia, the first one he made. For what little he had to work with, that movie's awesome.
I need to give up on that and watch it, but I've been wanting to watch it. Supposedly that you can watch Oculus on a VR. There's a VR experience for the Oculus movies. I haven't watched it.
On the Oculus?
Yeah, I've been waiting to try to get it that way, but
even Ouija 2 was kind of good.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
First one was hot, steaming garbage. Ouija 2 could have been garbage too and still been better, but it actually was an enjoyable, fun experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Mickey Flans.
Can we all agree?
You do good, Mikey Flans.
I like this new crop of directors that are coming out and getting some attention. Mike Flanagan, Mike Doherty, all the Mikes.
All the mics.
You got to be called
B.
Mike.
You gotta be Mike.
It's the year of the Mike.
It's the moniker Mike.
Did you know that he's doing the TV series The Haunting of Hill House too?
Yeah, who got cast?
pretty
in
fucking
that
exciting,
recently?
though.
Somebody interesting.
A bunch of kids.
Bunch of kids.
Timothy Hutton.
Yeah,
Timothy
maybe.
Hutton, that young buck.
What a young buck. So young.
Timothy Hutton's face is hit.
What were you just watching that had him in it?
Is Hit bad?
Yeah.
Or good?
The Dark
That's
Half. Freddie
Yeah.
was watching the Dark Half.
I would just
the other
reread
day.
the Dark Half.
You reread the Dark Half?
Yeah.
You know what? Can I
It's
talk?
not that great.
Can we stop for a second real
Yeah.
quick and talk about the Dark Half?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Timothy Hutton.
I remember really liking the Dark Half.
So did I.
But then, and this is one of the great things about Stephen King.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you think too much, because like sometimes they come back, such a ballsy move to do to put such ridiculous touches in that story.
I love that story.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. But like when you really think about it,
Yeah.
they had dossiers from the name of the high school was the cemetery. What? What brass balls it takes to do that?
Yeah.
Same with the Dark Half. Like the story is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous, and it's not it is not one of the better ones, but I do like it.
It almost feels like a Dean Koontz book.
It does feel like a Dean Koontz book. It really does.
No
That's
offense
a great,
to Dean Koontz.
Let's high five. That is a great. That is a great description.
Yeah.
It's very Watchersy. You're
Yeah.
right about that. Holy shit.
It's
but
a
like
B
elevated.
grade. Yeah. I mean, it's better, slightly better than a lot of his stuff, just because there's the sweet Stephen King-isms in there.
Yeah.
That
Well, he's still like the action and everything, and
Yeah.
I know people have trouble with some of Stephen King's dialogue, but a lot of it is actually really good.
I think his dialogue is memorable.
It's only when he tries to throw in weird slang.
Yeah.
All right, enough of this happy crappy.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
Jeez, I'm crow.
Cheese some crows.
Before you do the patrons, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Do you have time for that?
Yeah, we do.
Well, no, because we have. Okay.
Which event in the past, present, or future would you like to witness in person?
Start with Amy.
Well,
No, start with Amy.
Mike is either thinking about it or he's upset that we're still recording. I can't tell.
I'm thinking.
it's
a tough
event?
Can I say the assassination of Donald Trump?
Ooh.
Future.
Oh.
I would say the Big Bang.
Oh. How would you witness that?
I don't know, but you asked.
I always
All right.
wanted to be there when at that party that Mary Shelley and Lord Byron had.
That was a real big sex party.
That
Yeah,
was
You
lit
know there were
AF.
ding dongs and titties flopping all over the place.
Ding dongs.
We got Mikey
the
B.
snack cakes, you
Nothing.
mean?
Yeah.
So cool would it be to be in a
Smart.
Victorian
Kelley, what do you
mansion in
got?
a thunderstorm?
They need to make a movie about that.
They did.
But I mean, they need to make a good one.
You didn't like Gothic?
Oh, I didn't know that was what I'd never seen.
Yeah,
it.
it's a good one.
Is it good?
Yeah.
What is your choice?
I would like to have witnessed. I would have liked to have seen dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put that there. I would
Like
like to
this
see
It's like a
TV show
monkey's paw
from the
wish. Like you
No,
see
no
dinosaurs,
monkey-
but then you get stomped by one.
no monkey's
or-
paw. This is a free
yeah.
We're
wish.
just witnessing.
You get to go witness it in person, but you'll be okay.
It's free wish.
But my serious answer is I want to be there on the opening day of Disneyland.
You know what's funny? I thought Epcot for a minute when I was thinking about this.
Can I change mine?
yeah.
I mean, I still want to see dinosaurs, but I would like to have been there when Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin filmed the Sasquatch walking, just to like know for sure.
And what if it turned out that that's why they caught a Sasquatch? It was you, and it's because you got to go back in time and see it.
Butterfly effect.
It's like predestination.
Yeah.
You got it yet, Mikey?
It was you the whole time.
I guess the first moving picture.
I was my own
There you go.
Yeah.
mother.
Because I've always, that's always just brought
Ooh,
magic.
isn't
Which
that
pi-
Edison shocking the elephant?
No, something better.
It was a train, wasn't it?
Wait, you want to see what?
Like the first moving picture, just to
Oh,
see
yeah,
the
the
first
train.
time. That,
And everybody see it, and everybody be like,
to
"What the
experience it with
fuck?"
other people to
That
see
would be cool.
Yeah.
a moving picture.
You and Louis from Interview with the Vampire, just seeing silent films together.
Yep.
Adorable.
I can do better. I just need more time.
It's fine. You did great.
There's no right
you
answer.
did so
I
great.
feel like there is.
You did so good.
It's okay, thanks.
Okay, everybody.
My future event is me shitting because I'm kind of backed up right now.
Okay. So at the end of every show, we thank our Beelzebubs. Those are our patrons that donate at the Beelzebub level. These beautiful people. I'm going to start from the bottom, and then I'm going to go to the top.
Amy wants to go from the back.
Jimmy B.
Jimmy, thank you.
Commander.
Thanks very much.
Slide.
Love you.
Slide.
Love you.
Slippity slide. Do you ever say that?
It's been said.
Jeremy and Cassie.
Love you.
Amy's mom sold them some tickets to see All Them Witches.
Then we got Michael Powell.
Oh, baby.
Mikey P, as we call him now.
Mikey P.
You're great. You're destined for greatness.
Marky Dubs.
Oh shit.
Mark Watts. Blake.
Balake, yeah.
No.
Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Not no to you, Blake. No to Balake. I'm putting a moratorium on that bit now.
Joke's gotten old.
Brandon
That joke's
Boone.
drawing Social Security. I killed Brandon Boone.
Not in real life.
Don't take that out of context.
That's gonna be a Freddy's trial.
He's on
Tree.
tour with No Sleep right now. You should go see them if you're in Canada.
Tree and Alex.
Yay!
Babies. Eddie. Eddie E.
What's up, man? You're
Eddie
good.
Spaghetti.
Albert S.
Yeah, bro. Let's
Albert
high five.
Lasagna.
And then we got Alberto D.
Alberto Ravioli.
Let's bump hips.
Ernest. Ernie.
Ernie Manicotti. I got pasta for days.
Yeah, you do.
Brooke.
Brooke elbow macaroni.
And Adam.
Adam Cataloni.
Oh, nice one. You pulled it out.
Thank you.
There was one more
Cheese
thing.
stuffed.
My cousin makes a cannelloni, chicken cannelloni that will send you to the moon.
That's where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, are we going to do 1922?
It's easy. Let's just do it.
All right.
Will we be here next week?
No, we
Well-
won't. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So next week, which we would normally release a show on the 5th, Horror Hound, and then
Maybe.
we're going to... Something like that.
We'll see.
We're Kelly's gonna be at Horror Hound, and we're
Maybe.
gonna be at maybe, but we're definitely gonna be at Dollywood. So we will not be.
It'll be our
around.
Dollywood special.
Unless if you're in Dollywood, come find us. But don't, because who knows where we're gonna be, and it's just gonna be like having a
Who'll
coordinate.
know
I
how
don't
much
want to do that.
pizza we've had?
Yeah, like just don't make it
Lumberjack
weird.
pizza for us.
How big of a hot corn dog we've eaten?
If we're in the same line for the
75-pound
Blazing
apple
Fury, we
pie.
can talk. So in 2 weeks we'll be back with 1922, and Andy will review Don't Kill It.
Sometimes a corn dog is just what you want.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's real good.
Sometimes come join us at our live
love
show
a corn dog.
tomorrow night. And happy Halloween, everybody!
Happy Halloween!
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to